Hello everybody, this is Waldorf.
This is Statler.
And now we have Battle Report 153.
153.
Orcs and Goblins versus the Ogre Khan.
Khan.
And we'll go into a little more detail in this one than we did in Battle Report 152.
This battle report has not been redacted for your viewing pleasure.
For your viewing pleasure or irritation. Moving on. We've got my Orc and Goblin list. It's kind of my quasi-mounted list that I've been playing with. I really like playing with this list. So, win or lose, I think this list will be around for a little while.
Okay. So the time hasn't come to break out the chariot list, huh?
The chariot list will show up.
Yeah.
As soon as... Actually, it'll probably make a showing after Buckeye.
Okay. Hate to think all of our efforts went for naught.
No, of course not. So, the Ogre playing against the Ogre Khans, my old friends. He has a Mammoth Hunter as a general with Iron Fist, Hunting Spear, Death Cheater, and Wild Heart. And another Mammoth Hunter is his BSB with an Iron Fist, Hunting Spear, the Wrestler's Belt. Wrestler's Belt. Should have been called the Wrestler's Belt. And the Troll Eater. Shaman, who's a master of shamanism, which is fairly appropriate. He has the Bloodletter, Dragon Staff, Liger's Tongue, and the Gut Roarer. Unit of 8 tribesmen with full command, Iron Fist, and the Pennant of the Great Grass Guy.
Is it actually spelt that way? Or did you...
What?
The pennant?
Pennant? Probably not.
Penant? Well...
Probably not. 2 units of 3 tribesmen with paired weapons, 4 Tusker Cav. Tuskit Cav? Doesn't look like an R. Looks like a Tuskit.
It does.
Tuskit Cav. They have full command in the Banner of Gwynget, which is the reroll 1s to hit, to wound, and something else on the charge. A Rock, and 3 Slave Giants.
All right.
This guy's all in on the Giants.
I would say so.
Spell choice, Bring the Pain, Will-O-Wisp, Raven's Wing, Deceptive Glamour, and Twisted Effigy. Twisted Effigy I'm using a lot now as the -2 casting version of it.
Okay.
Because this guy doesn't have much shooting at all.
Right.
But this will stop them from, make it harder for him to cast.
That's actually what I liked so much about that spell.
I like just making people not shoot. I like people spending that 700 or 800 point on that Ogre, what is it, the mercenary unit with the poison shots and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what's really odd. Going back to witchcraft, I think this was a comment we had the other day about how much that new spell in witchcraft costs, the Bewitching Glare, where it takes I think it's a 9 to cast or 11 to cast on a shooting unit to make it reroll its 6s to hit to wound.
Right.
But this spell casts on a 6 on a shooting unit and it cannot shoot.
Can't shoot at all, yeah.
So how it's in the same path. I don't understand. What do they think? I don't know. Anyway, that's just an oddity. I have no clue how that happened. Anyway.
That's the over nerf.
So, as you can see, here's the overall board. There's a water feature off to the left, hill on the bottom, hill in the top middle, which I came to hate. Couple forests, field off on the far right, and a building. We called this impassable.
Okay. You didn't want to test out those fantastic building rules?
No one wants to test out the building rules. Anytime I offer my opponent, you want to call this a building or impassable? Impassable. So, okay. So no one will ever know those building rules because no one will ever play them.
You have to play against an MSU shooting army.
There you go. So we played the scenario where you're picking up the loot across the field.
Right.
And there's how we lined up. My idea here is kind of push the right flank.
Was that places the scout, the spiders where they are? Or they have
scouted where they are because they didn't really have anywhere else to go with an 18. So, moving on. There's what his guys. And there's the other half of the board. And my big spider sitting here in the woods in the middle. And you can see my mage the top of him poking out behind
See
you.
a piece of the mage poking out. Yeah.
He hides
His
behind
staff or
he
whatever.
likes to hide behind the big spider.
Yeah, it's a good place to hide.
What I've been doing is placing him off by himself as well in the initial placements because he is a vanguarding unit. So if my opponent's out trying to out vanguard me type thing, I can just move him, which
Right.
is kind of neat because
Yeah,
he
it's
can
a
move
good
and
move.
join a unit.
Right.
So anyway,
So he's got just this one unit dart picking his flank dart, like a dart, giant,
Yeah.
giant.
giant
characters.
hunter, giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, two
Okay.
hunters flanked by giants and one in the
Basically
middle.
5 monsters.
It is 5 monsters,
Okay.
and that's what it looks like. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
So you have that. So on the first turn, he took first turn. I back up a little bit.
Yep.
On my vanguard, I just flipped out here
And
further
swept
to the
around
right.
to the flank. Okay.
I was just trying to harass him. I was hoping to get behind him and just start plugging shots into stuff
Right.
and just harassing stuff.
It's not too many things you can fight, and then looks like his ogre's turn at 8.
No, there's absolutely nothing. He has no other little saber tusk things,
Yeah.
so there's nothing in this army that my 2 light units can fight.
Yeah, just hope to get a shooting casualty here and there.
Right.
So his ogre's turn and ate all the trees.
His ogres chopped down the trees and looked off to the side to keep my guys in control. And he managed to cast a Break the Spirit on my Boar Boy unit
Okay.
with my hero and with my general and BSB in it. And that was it for his turn. So my
Okay.
turn, we moved up a bit, not a whole lot, but both the wrecking teams came
It looks like they went screening
lumbering forward. You got to avoid terrain with those, so I was trying to slip this the top
right
one
around
out.
the lake. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to worry about running the other one into the other one.
Yeah.
And you can't put them close enough. Well, with his, it doesn't matter. Against a lot of armies, you got to be careful you don't want them this close because you get a flyer or something that lands on both of them at the same time.
Right.
So, but anyway, it all worked out in this one, no problems. Since he turned the ogres on the top right to the face, off to the side, my spiders backed off, and the wolf riders came up here out of arc. They're currently out of arc of both the ogre and the giant, so they're in that little zone where they can't be seen.
The zone of non-observation.
There you go.
Okay.
Got the twisted effigy off on his unit with his shaman in it,
Okay.
and put the evil eye on the ferals.
Okay.
Moving on to turn 2.
I think it's time to spray paint your movement trace.
Well, one definitely needs one. The one in the middle is pure silver. It
Yep.
definitely has to go, and then the other ones are spotty. You're right.
I was being polite.
You are. I need to. Actually, I need to find my 5 wide ones because I was running these as 6 wide. You can see both the Boar Boys are on 6 wide units
Right.
for some reason. Anyway, so moving on. Turn 2. That's what starts. He pulls back and makes sure he gets on the hill and does the Ogre retrograde maneuver where they all just back up away from the wrecking teams.
I guess he's afraid of wrecking teams.
Yeah, he was really regretting not having anything to really just go out and step on one.
Yeah.
And I was working around that left flank to keep him out of march range. This guy's on the hill. So he can't just walk down with those.
Because those are the guy to do it with.
Those 3 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sacrifice those 3 guys.
Yep.
So anyway, he cast the swarm of insects, I believe, killed a guy.
Actually, I think if you can get contact both of them at the same time, the giant's probably worth it too.
Give up 1 giant for both of them.
Yeah.
If he can get to both of them, yeah. So that's about it. Gets a swarm of insects off, kills a Boar Boy.
Okay.
But nothing big. Gets the break the spirit off again
Yeah.
on my Boar Boys, which they're getting tired of that. You can see he just shifted around a little bit with the giant to keep the wolf riders.
I found it's
Check.
very important to roll well
It is always very
when
important.
spelling spells.
Well, I was actually, based on the distance here, I was actually accepting letting him cast that every time. He was using 3 and 4 dice for it,
Okay.
for Break the Spirit, and I was letting that go.
So it
and
wouldn't zap you
pretty
with
much
other stuff?
stopping anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I didn't want, the one thing I was making sure wasn't going to happen is swarm of insects on the wrecking teams.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to my turn. Both the wrecking teams move forward again.
Ooh.
the one
One's
really
very
went
excited.
for it.
He smelled
That
something.
was, and actually that was the one that was up on the marker. It went straight, and the other one came across behind it. I just angling them to miss this terrain, because we always play that this whole piece is the water feature, not just the water.
Right.
It makes it much simpler.
Yeah.
So the 4 boar boys came up and sat on the marker so that they can hopefully carry that away on the next turn.
Slowly but surely.
And now I've kind of moved up aggressively with the ferals on the far right and screened the giant. Chaffed up the giant. So if he charges me, then he's open to counter charge. That's what I'm looking at.
Right.
And the other thing is to protect these guys from just being terrored off.
Yeah.
The general has left this unit, and he's right there.
Oh, okay.
He rode over there to get within 12 inches of him.
Okay.
So there you go. There he is.
And the BSB's in with them too, isn't it?
The BSB's still over here.
Oh, okay.
The BSB was left behind, but they've got one chance on a 9, which is sufficient. I mean, if he doesn't make it, well then it's bad, but not terrible. So anyway, set that up. Going on to turn 3.
Well, you're not really worried about one giant charging anything, are you?
No, but the this guy's movement 8, I believe, the hunter. Well, he's 7 now. He's down 1 for this, and this giant here is also not terribly far away. I mean, it's in possible range.
Yeah, I mean, what you're worried about is the combo monster charge, but yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so he charged over here on my spiders. We took it because I've got the 2 Nasher heroes set up over here to deal with them after they do that. Giant comes in, eats the chaff. And the Tuskers decide to charge through the wrecking team.
Okay, to get to your boar boys.
And I did 6 wounds even to him, I believe. I was not really expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would do it. Guess I was wrong. The other unit of tribesmen does a swift reform and walks over to step on this other one.
Okay.
And take 2 tribesmen take out because of it.
Oh, he was lucky. You were unlucky on that one.
Yeah, I rolled fairly low. I actually rolled really low on the Tuskers for the number of hits, but then everyone that hit wounded.
Okay.
So I kind of made up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was hoping to get, a few more than 6. But ended up doing 6 wounds to both units. Rock comes over, and now you can see the mountain of death on the center of the board.
Yeah.
So all this stuff he's got parked up there, movement 7 and movement 8 stuff with re-rollable charge distance.
Yep.
Some of it was swift stride. The hunters have swift stride. So anyway, so we got that. Rock came around. He cast the swarm of insects. He got the swarm of insects off this time. Somehow I lost 2 guys and failed my break check. And they head for the board.
Because your general was on the other side.
Actually, it wouldn't have helped.
Oh, okay, rolled that bad. That's only 1 difference, I'm guessing, but
yeah. So anyway, over here
hey, you killed one.
The spiders actually put 3 wounds on them. Spider riders. But the ogres.
That initiative 4 poison.
Ogres won combat and ran off the board.
Okay.
Over here, the giant managed to only kill 3 of me.
Oh, he did charge. I didn't see that. Okay.
And on this side,
wow,
the Rocks only killed 2.
Not the Rocks.
Sorry, the Tuskers.
Yeah.
Tusker cav.
Are those like little hearts?
Yeah, he's got little hearts for wounds markers.
I like that.
They're actually really nice.
Where do you get those from?
I don't know. He said they were for because I asked him. He said he doesn't remember, but they were for a game. They're wound markers for some other game.
Oh, okay.
That he found and bought a whole bag of them. Anyway, they're really nice. I like them a lot.
Check on eBay, see if I can find those.
But even though he only killed 2 of the boar riders, he ran them down. On the far right, the giant killed my chaff and then rolled like an 11 for his overrun and got into the savage feral orcs, which I'm not that concerned with.
Right.
The Nasher hero comes over here in positions and waits, just kind of looking at that board edge.
Yeah.
Waiting for the ogres to
He's
come
heard
back.
something may be appearing there.
Exactly. There we go. So back to my turn.
I forgot. Did the hunters have the throwing spears?
They do. The
Okay.
two on the hill do.
Okay.
The mammoth hunters. But they're only 18, so.
Mm.
And for some reason, he doesn't want to come out in the middle of that field.
Yeah. Well, 18 still.
I think it's 18. Anyway. So, anyway, you can see I've been casting Twisted Effigy on him every turn.
Right.
I'm using 3 dice on this, and I cannot roll below like a 13 or 14 on 3 dice.
Okay.
I want to roll fairly low because I want him to stop this so I can do something else. But every time it's going off with too high, so he's letting it go. And now I'm stuck with nothing else to cast because he's stopping everything else. So my success is hurting me there.
Okay.
Because I've got the random movement spell that I want to get off on something. And
Yeah. It was like, so you turned your boar boys to the center?
yeah, Boar Boy's turn towards the left so
Right.
he can face these Tuskers up here on the hill and the incoming Rock.
What about those 3 ogres that are sitting in
Yeah,
front of
they're concerning me a lot. I still have a BSB in this
you? They
unit.
look very intimidating sitting there.
Yeah, they do. The problem is they're on the marker. And I need to get them off the marker. But anybody in that field that gets
How
near the
bad could that
marker, there's only four monsters on the hill. And they're all on the hill now.
Yeah.
So they're all getting the reroll. On my turn, I brought in the
One
Nasher
squiggle,
over here
Nasher over there, okay.
to help with the giant. So, anyway. So, I shifted... My general shifted down to get into combat.
Right.
He makes way to get into combat.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and we're talking about it, and I'm initiative... He's initiative 4, my guy. The giant, since he charged, is initiative 4.
Right.
Sorry, agility 4.
Agility, yeah.
So I decided to take my potion of swiftness, because I'm thinking, well, between the general and the Nasher on the side, I might kill this thing before it gets to go.
Right.
You know, and that would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't kill it before it gets to go. It does the... I actually do 6 wounds to it between these two. Which, as you know, the way Giant works, instead of 5 attacks, now he has 11.
Yeah, yeah.
So but
he whiffed.
he saved me by putting them all on the general, trying to kill all, which really scared me.
Right.
Terrified me, but he put them all on the general. General either passed his, he's only strength 5, so he's needing 4s to wound. He needs 4s to hit, 4s to wound.
Oh, he doesn't have the club?
No, he has, actually has 6 attacks, because I think he has an extra hand weapon.
Oh, okay.
Or Iron Fist, I think.
Iron Fist, okay.
So, anyway, he did that.
And stomped.
Why is there 2 on the unit?
Stomped you?
Can't remember. I think he must have, but I don't remember running him down. Anyway, the general's not there. He's still in the unit.
Okay.
Pushed him out so we would know where he was in the combat.
Right.
Yeah, I can't imagine where I lost 2 guys. Maybe he did put a couple attacks on the unit. I thought he put them all on him. Maybe not. Anyway, because he didn't get to stomp because we killed him before the stomp.
Okay.
So there's the general back in the unit where he belongs.
All right. So you reform.
So we elected not to. Well, we can't overrun. I could have overrun with the Nasher.
Right.
But I didn't want him over here in front of a unit and being a speed bump for the guys on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down to 5 wide and sat there. And we're moving on to turn 4. And that's what it looks like at the beginning.
I assume your spider's been taking plot shots at giants on the hill.
He doesn't have the thing, but he's been firing
bows.
off his bows, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Yeah.
But most of the time needing 5s and 6s to hit.
Yeah.
Anyway. So the ogres come back on the board over here.
Okay.
Reluctantly. These ogres start walking away with a token.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the...
He's really trying to tempt you to come get him, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he can only move 6 now.
Yeah, I understand.
But he's limping away. Instead of going back to his lines, he's just putting it right in my face.
Exactly.
So, exactly, yeah. So, Tuskers come down off the hill. They are out of arc of the big boar boy unit.
But they can...
And they're also being screened by those guys in the middle.
Yeah.
But they are in their flank if they want to charge me next turn.
Right. Oh, your mage recovered. I didn't see that.
And they rallied, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually really considered charging last turn with the boar boys into the ogres, and then just fleeing if something on the hill charged me.
Right.
But the problem was the BSB was in it, and I couldn't afford to take a rerollable 7 to bring my guy a 1 shot at a 7 to rally those guys. Anyway, so we came back.
Well, you also have to be careful of the double charge.
Oh yes, correct. Go back to here. So this unit of boar boys down here that just rallied did have the lone character in it.
Okay.
So he charged out of that unit into the Tuskers.
Okay.
The 2 remaining boar boys came up here to chaff them. In case he loses, they can't get to the flank of this unit without hitting them first. And the mage ran off and hid over here in the far corner.
So the mage is with the boar boys now.
Correct.
Okay.
So everyone just scattered.
All right.
And they have a wound on them.
Okay.
So he's got a total of 5 wounds left in this unit. So,
and you're tough and armored and stuff. So.
And I'm tough, and we'll see. And I've got a 5-up ward as well. Aegis save. Sorry. Here on the far right, the ferals have come up and plopped down onto them. Well, they actually, when they reformed last turn, they ended on the marker. So this turn they picked it up and moved forward.
Okay, and your Nasher made a charge over there, I see.
And Nasher up on the very top made the charge. The other Nasher came up here on the flank to look at the hill. To observe it.
And threatened the hunter with its awesomeness.
Correct. And my general has made his way back to his home unit, the boar boys. And there we go. Ta-da. So,
Deceptive Glamour.
So I also put Deceptive Glamour on him to knock him down. The hunter in the middle up there has got 2 evil eyes on him. So I've got Deceptive Glamour, and of course up there again is the Twisted Effigy on his main unit. It's like a permanent addition to them. But of course Break the Spirit has been an almost permanent addition to my boar boys.
Yeah.
So we move up. That's where we have it. And we're going on to his...
So you made short work of the...
He did. He crushed them.
Those ogres.
He actually killed... See, there's his big bag of hearts up there. The boar boy lost.
Huh. 2 wounds.
He took 2 wounds.
And they're still both of them are still there.
He did nothing.
Wow.
They were deceptive glamored, and he did nothing to them. He was hitting them on 2s.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was a terrible roll.
And he's strength...
6 on the charge.
6, right?
Yeah. Yeah, strength 6.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway. So on his turn, he charged into the 2 boar boys. That's what you're seeing there. And that was, I guess, the 5 should have come before that. Anyway.
Yes.
So he charged in there. Up top, he's got, the close guy, it's like 16, 17, 19, and 19 to get in, or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit less. And they all make it. He declares all 4 charges, and all 4 make it.
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
And that was right after the general left the unit, too.
Yeah.
Actually, would have liked for him to have been in there to absorb some of that with his higher toughness and armor.
I'm not sure it would have mattered. That's a lot of stomping action.
It's a lot of stomping action. Yeah. So, anyway, there it is, a better picture of that. That's going to look fun. Over here, the Tuskers with the Deceptive Glamour only managed to put a single wound on my boar boys.
So clearly, sending a hero wasn't the right thing. You should have committed
I should have committed
regular
the
troops.
I would have liked to have. I would have committed the whole unit, but the mage was in there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't confident that that was going to work out for me.
Clearly, the weaker troops do better.
and when they get charged.
Exactly, you blew an opportunity.
Yeah. So.
Mage probably would have killed one of them all by himself.
So, actually, sorry, I did do a wound, and then I do a wound back to make matters worse and kill one. So I lost this combat by 1. The guy makes his break test, 6 around.
Okay.
Over here, he peels off quite a bit of my unit.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
14?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. I mean, those giants are hitting on 4s. They're only wounding on 3s, because remember, they're strength 5.
Yeah.
So that's what's toning it down.
Okay, so that's a lot of attacks coming in.
But it is. A lot of attacks and a lot of stomps.
Yeah.
And I'm making a few ward saves here
3
and there.
wounds on his giant?
I put 3 wounds on each giant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. So there you have that.
You want them to have a few more attacks, so they're more.
What's that?
You want them to have a few more attacks, so they're more interesting to work with.
But we make our steadfast check and stick around.
Okay.
Because even though it really doesn't look like it, but it's the BSB is the second one in here, and it's 12 inches away.
Okay.
He did stay within 12.
All right.
There we go. Going into my half of the 5th turn. My guy here in the back rallies. Hero rallies.
Send the spider in? Yes, you did.
I sent the spider into the flank, and the general and the BSB both left the boar unit and walked out here to prepare themselves for the next one.
Okay.
So this also lets the boar unit is still within, command radius, of course.
And where's the mage? Still in the unit?
And the mage is still in the unit.
Oh, okay.
But this came in there, and then on the other flank, I think the Nasher didn't make it. Couldn't. It was too far. And now you can see where I'm facing out here towards the center with my boar unit.
Right.
I can't charge him with that rock, and the ogre's sitting there waiting for me.
No. Well, you can.
Yeah, sorry, I can. So you can see
and your other Nashers coming back.
There's the BSB and the 2 Nashers have both lined themselves up to get into this combat.
Yeah.
It will last another turn, I'm thinking, but it's just how much is left. Because he no longer gets his impact hits. So anyway, I'm just hoping.
Still faster than you, except with the spider.
He's a lot faster than me, except for the spider. Correct. So what do we got?
Looks like we're missing an orc.
He finally kills off my boar rider.
Okay.
With his tusker. Reforms towards the center. All right. So the giant, the spider kills the one giant.
Okay.
Before it goes.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yep.
The other giant, the other 3 of the monsters left do quite a bit of work. You can see.
Yeah, I see that.
They brought me down to 6 models.
Yeah.
And but the ferals kill off the second giant. I'm putting all my attacks on the giants.
Okay.
That I can, just to try to get rid of them.
Right.
Between the spider did kill the one first, so they got that.
Did you get any wounds on the hunters?
I got no wounds on the hunters.
Okay.
So the spider takes his overrun and gets back into combat.
Okay.
With this hunter on this side is his BSB. The one on the top, the right side, is his general. Those are his mammoth hunter and BSB in general.
Describe what happened here. So you caused 6 wounds on giants.
Correct.
He caused like 13 or 12 wounds on...
Well, I had 15.
15, okay.
I had 15 left, and I've got 6 now, so he caused 9.
Okay. So you kill the giant, so the spider is now out of the combat.
So I did 6 wounds to his 9, I believe.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I did 8 wounds, because each giant had 4 left.
Oh, okay.
So I did 8 wounds to his 9. I can't count my charge, but I do have a banner where he has a banner, so I lost that combat by 1.
Okay.
I'm still steadfast because I have a rank and he does not.
Right.
So that's how it.
And the spider's out of the fight.
The spider at the end of the combat was out of the fight, but then he gets an overrun.
Well, he has to do an overrun, right?
And brings him here back into the fight. And if you noticed, I placed the spider far enough up there to leave the gap for the general to get into the into the spot.
Yeah, because that's just that's kind of a funky fight. I think it just deserved an explanation.
Yeah, it's weird, and it gets weirder.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do that, and then we go on to turn 6.
Turn 6.
And this is his turn 6 because he went first. He takes the ogres up here and charged. Let's see, where
Did he reform his ogre to face your spider?
He did not.
Okay, so it's like it was facing that way.
He could not. They have the ogre's pinned, looking forward at these savages.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just wondering if it's just
Yeah,
a model.
he's modeled almost on a corner.
Okay.
It's one of those weird.
Yeah.
All right, so he declares a charge with the ogres up top against my boar boys, and they decide that they're okay with that. They'll take it.
Okay.
Then
Can he get past his own guys?
yeah, he can wheel past him. We
Okay.
checked. He'll end up with.
Okay.
I mean,
Only a
end up
couple of
not
contact.
contacting all me, but
Yeah.
I think he gets all the way down to this guy.
Oh, okay.
So there's quite a few of them he gets.
Yeah, I guess the movement tray makes it look bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he
Pivots to the center with the other guy.
he elected to charge with the Rocker Rock.
Okay.
And the Rocker Rock, even though it looks like it, but it's not 50% on the hill. So he's not getting a re-rollable, but it was only like he needed like an 8
Okay.
on Swift Stride.
And
So-
even though he looks like he's on the back side of the hill, that doesn't exist in the game. You're either on the hill or you're not.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he can see me easily, and he's within that distance. He needs an 8, even with the evil eye on him. So I elect to run from that one.
Okay.
Because looking at the distance, because I actually, this was amazing to me. I actually said, okay, well, if I run from this, as long as I get like a 3, I clip this guy, which is going to bounce me all the way back to here.
Right.
And there's nowhere I can stop otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And then I measured, before I elected to flee, I measured the distance from here to here, and it was out of his charge range.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, safe spot.
Okay.
So I fled, and they flee through, flees through the 2 characters, but the 2 characters are both ferals,
Right.
so they don't care.
Right.
So he rolls and redirects with his ogres, and slams into the side of the spider.
Ah.
Missed that part. And the Tusker down on the bottom, left all alone, decides to come play with my BSB.
Yep.
There you have that. So there's just another angle from that. It's just a nightmare. So there's the ogres fighting the spider, who's fighting the general. I'm sorry, the BSB, who's fighting these guys, but we're also fighting this guy.
Right.
Pretty awesome.
It is if you're an ogre.
It's looking fairly good for the ogres at that moment, isn't it?
It is.
Um,
That's why you roll dice.
so, combat, the spider directs all its attacks against what it can wound. So it puts all its attacks against the ogres.
Okay.
And actually put 6, I think it might have been 7 wounds on them.
Okay. So 2 are dead.
Got the poison sting off and
Okay.
did well there. He has, I forgot what spells he's got going on, but I made sure he did not get off the, whatever it is, +1 strength,
Okay.
Awaken the Beast.
Right.
So we don't want any part of that nonsense. So he's done that.
He's done 4 wounds to you, basically.
He did 4 total wounds to me because the general also, sorry, the BSB also put his attacks into the spider, and they did a combined 4 wounds because everybody in this unit needed 6s to wound me because they're all strength 4 guys.
Okay.
So, and he was just not rolling enough wounds, and I was making a couple armor saves.
Right.
So the general was the only one fighting the orcs, and he only managed to kill 3.
Okay. 3
or 4
or 4 looks like.
because I had 6 there before.
Yeah.
He killed 4, but he's got 5 attacks and a stomp, so I
Yeah.
mean that's not unheard of either.
Yeah.
Down here, his Tusker charged into my BSB, did 2 wounds to me, and I did 2 wounds back.
Okay.
The good news with that is I go first next turn,
Yeah, and you stood. The good news is you stood.
and I stood. Well, we did 2 wounds apiece. He's got a charge and a flank,
you
and
have
I have a BSB.
you have the BSB.
I have a flag, so I'm only down by 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And I'm feral, so even if he causes fear, that didn't matter.
Anytime you roll.
But you do have to roll. So that's where that turn ended. And the Rock failed its charge. You can see it just came forward a bit. You can see the base of it there on the far left.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Poking out. And my BSB made his check and turned around and faced.
Okay.
And we go into the bottom of turn 6. And that's what it looks like.
All right.
So.
And that's not another unit of pharaohs coming up. That's a...
That is a bunch of dead guys.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Let's make this even worse.
Okay, so you're all in.
So now we're all in.
Yep.
So the Gnasher that was up on top went into the side of the ogres.
Okay. Oh, it's the side. Okay, not the rear. Okay.
Yeah, he can do damage to the ogres.
Yeah.
If I go into this, it's going to be a challenge, and I'm not going to fight anybody.
Sure.
And then you can see the Gnasher came over here into the side of his general.
Uh-huh.
So, and the general came in. My general came in into the flank of his BSB there beside the spider.
Okay.
So we're all in now.
All right, and it's going to be interesting what happens with the challenge decisions.
Right. So there we go, and is that the picture? I guess there's another picture. There we go. Why aren't they shooting? Anyway, the unit of orcs, my big orc boar boy unit rallies. I didn't bother moving them. It was the bottom of turn 6.
Okay.
I didn't bother doing anything with them. Nothing's going to affect it. We issued a challenge. I issued a challenge with my general.
Okay.
And forced his BSB to fight me. Because his only choice was to not fight at all.
Yeah.
So issued a challenge with him, forced him to fight me. Between the Gnasher and the spider.
This is something else I think it describes. Explanation. You've got 2 characters and a champion on one side of the fight.
Correct.
Versus 3 characters on the other.
4 characters.
Yeah.
Well, no, 3. Just 3.
You've got your general and your 2.
General and the 2 Gnasher heroes.
But they're not the same unit.
So, correct. Yeah. Because my general issued a challenge, only a unit that's touching him can answer, which means the BSB is the only guy who can answer that.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want
it's
another funky thing.
Correct, it is.
Because back in the old days, you could anybody could respond.
Anybody in that whole combat could have responded, which would have meant I was fighting his champion.
Right.
And if that was the case, of course, then I would have waited and let's see if he issued a challenge.
Yeah.
And then taken it with one of the Gnashers.
Right.
But anyway.
Okay.
So that's how that went.
So we got General versus BSB.
General versus BSB, and I put 3 wounds on him.
Okay.
I think the Gnasher up top put 2 wounds on his general.
On his general.
And over on the top side of the board, the spider and the Gnasher hero combined for another 6 or 7 wounds on that unit.
You got one more wound on your spider.
And I picked up 1 more wound on my spider.
Okay. And he only killed.
And he only because the general. And I got the deceptive glamour off on his general.
Okay.
To lower him a little bit.
I still see your Gnasher there, and.
Yeah, he put a couple wounds on my. I think he put 2 wounds on my Gnasher and killed 1 of the orcs.
Okay.
He didn't get the last orc. That was a 360 point orc or something.
Too many people. They lose because they try to min max. When you're going to kill something, you got to go after it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
So because of that, though, I've done like 8 wounds to the ogres. I think it was 3 to each character, if I remember. But anyway, it's at least 5 wounds on characters, and he's done minimal wounds back to me.
Right, like 2. So 3 or whatever.
Even though this kind of broke into multiple combats, this is the one thing we weren't 100% sure on. Because of the feral orcs up top
are no longer contacting the BSB.
The question does he slide down, which would force him to slide down and my other guy to slide down, and we weren't sure. The rules are clear that if the Gnasher was not there, then I would have slid down and he comes down with me. But because the Gnasher's there, it makes it a little iffy on how that's applied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just assume you can't slide down because
right,
because it's not a single unit.
Right, and that's it. When we were talking about it, not sure of it, and we started to look it up, and we started to look through a couple things, and then I looked at it and I said, you know what? Even if it's not one combat, if it's one combat or not one combat, you're all auto breaking anyway.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter.
The casualties are still
and
there.
then we just moved on at that point.
Right.
So because of that, there you have it. Oh,
And you killed it.
and my BSB did go before his Tusker and put the third and final wound on him. And up top, let's go back here.
Paint job on these ogres.
What's that?
I like the paint job on these ogres.
They're very nicely painted. We managed to run down and kill the two. The Gnasher ran down and killed the two, the Ogre and the Shaman.
Okay.
The Spider actually chased them as well. The General chased the BSB and ran him down.
Okay.
And because the BSB didn't have Swift Stride.
Right.
And his General, there at the top, ran, and neither one of the Gnasher or the Orcs could catch him.
Okay.
So he did get away, but he was fleeing at the end of the game for half points. But everything else got destroyed, except for my one remaining Orc, which is very important.
Yeah, but a lot of points.
So added up the points at the end of the game, and it was 38-63.
Wow.
To 16-13.
Not often you beat the ogres.
But we both had, and the other major point to this is this one guy here is carrying the token.
He's carrying the token, yeah.
Which is a 3-point swing had he killed him.
Yeah.
Not only the extra 300 points for the unit, which would have brought this down to a 14-6, but then it would have gone further to 11-9.
Yeah.
If he would have killed that guy.
Yeah.
So it was a major swing on the last turn. This came up to exactly 2250 victory points apart.
Oh, wow.
2251 is a 16-4.
Right. Wow.
So, and no one got the objective because we both had it. But we looked at it, and he's like, you scored over 2,000 points on that last turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of points on that last turn.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's how it ended.
Okay.
Fun game. It was a really good game.
You're just saying it because you beat ogres.
Anytime I beat ogres, it's a fun game.
Well, they're the bottom ranked army now, so
they are no good. They are they created a 6th tier just for them.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a 6th tier if it wasn't for the bad ogres.
They weren't so bad, yeah.
Yeah.
You just proved it.
I just proved it, apparently. So I proved then we're one of the better armies, apparently,
Absolutely.
too. All right. But that'll do it. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.